Assalamualaikum and a very good day to my dear students. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, this is our last skill for Unit 8, a hard day's work. And of course, this is the toughest skill or perhaps the hardest skill for most of you out there. However, we don't have any choice. We still have to learn this skill, which is your writing skill. So just take it easy, okay? Alright, as usual, before I start my lesson, again, I would love to share with you our learning objective for today's lesson. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to explain and evaluate read information in a formal letter in Activity 3 by discussing the experiences and hobbies that could match with the skills asked for and in an exemplar for formal letter in Activity 4 by filling in the gaps and answer 6 questions that's explain and evaluate information in it. Other than that, you will be able to plan of 4 to 5 paragraphs of a formal letter based on the question given about a winter job. Okay, so basically this is the things that you have to do later. Tick 6 pieces of information, match some hobbies and experiences with the skills there, and then you have to write a formal letter. Okay, this is the unit opener or the starter. Okay, the question is, alright, okay, students, do you know what kind of information that we should include in our curriculum vitae? And what information should they include in a letter of application? Do you know anything about it? Okay. Anyhow, this is only a unit opener for you before we start writing a formal letter. So don't get confused, okay? We are not learning to write a CV here. Just a brief introduction before we start our writing lesson for today. Okay, curriculum vitae or CV, it is actually a Latin word. Is a brief account of a person's education, qualifications, and perhaps previous occupations, typically sent with a job application. Okay, you maybe have probably heard of the curriculum vitae or CV more than once. Alright, in some cases, it's used as a synonym for the resume. Okay, however, there is slightly different between CV and resume. Okay, maybe you need to learn it later when you have completed your XPM examination. But anyhow, okay, this is the basic information for you to know. Alright, a CV must include a contact information, personal statement or personal profile, works experience, educations and skill must include. Next, a CV could also include professional certifications, professional associations, languages, additional training and courses, awards, or maybe your volunteer experience. Okay, in real life situation, when you are looking for any jobs after SPM maybe, you need to know all of this. Okay, you must know how to write a good CV if you want to outperform other candidates who are looking for the same jobs like you do. All right, on the right hand side, those are action words that might be useful later for you to write your formal letter, especially when you have to do the last task for this skill. Okay, so what are those words? Those words are, we have accomplished, advanced, boosted, completed, created, delivered, enhanced, improve, lifted, manage, maximize, produce, and stimulated. So here we go. Okay, CV versus resume. As you can see from the screens, the differences between these two things. Okay, so that you have a clear idea about what's a CV and what's a resume. Alright, as you can see, the length, the first and most notable difference between a CV and resume is how long each one of them is. Okay, usually a resume is kept short and brief. Usually or normally is only one page, whereas the CV is more comprehensive. It can go up to 2 to 3 pages depending on your experience. Okay, the function. Alright, the CV is mainly used for academical purposes. Alright, such as when you want to apply for a research program or a PhD maybe, or joining the staff of a university. Meanwhile, the resume is, on the other hand, is written for a regular job in a company. Okay, what about the type of information that you could include? Okay, the CV is an academic diary when you include all your academic qualifications, achievements, and certification. Okay, it is universal in nature as it can be updated as you go, whereas a resume has to be created or at least customized for each job you are applying for, or has a bigger focus on your professional achievement rather than academic. But however, as I mentioned it earlier, as I told you earlier, these two things for your working purpose later, not for your writing task in this unit. Okay, so take it easy, kids. So here we go. Alright, now we are back in our real task for this writing lesson. Okay, form is all about formal letter writing about yourself. Okay, when you write a letter applying for a job, you want the reader to think you would be good at the job. Introduce yourself and include any information that is relevant to the type of work you want. So write about related qualifications you have, your work experience, and the things you do in your free time. And of course, in an examination situation, you can use your own imagination to answer this question. Okay, so make sure also you use formal language when writing a letter of application. So the keywords here, you want the reader to think you would be good at the job. How you want to impress the reader that you are really good at doing that particular job. So firstly, this is the first thing, introduce yourself, and then don't forget to include any information that is relevant. Okay, remember, this is also one of the keyword, relevant. Okay, yang sepatutnya yang relevant to the type of work you want. Okay, bersesuaian dengan kerja yang diminta. So write about related qualification. Okay, awak punya kelayakan yang berkaitan dengan kerja yang diminta. And of course, your work experience and things you do in your free time. Okay. Alright, next we move on. Okay, this is the first task of your writing activity. Okay, let's read the instruction. You are applying for a job as a hotel waiter or waitress in the summer holidays. Okay, take 6 pieces of information you would write about in your letter. So they give you a list of information. So you need to tick which one is the relevant information that you can include in your letter to apply a job as a hotel waiter or waitress. So my age, my family, where I am studying, where I live, my scooter driving license, or maybe my qualifications, example Cambridge English, your sports medals, and then the information I work in a cafe last summer, my father works in a hotel, my hobbies, example cooking, chatting with my friends on my computer, and the type of friends I have. So think about it. Okay, which one is the most relevant one that you can tick to suit the job as a waiter or waitress? Do you really need to put any information about your sports medal? Do you think it is necessary? Or is it necessary to tell the person that your father also working in a hotel? So you can take on your own and then you can show it later to your teachers. Alright, there is no wrong or right answers actually. It's up to your own interpretation. Alright, this is the first task. Alright, the second task is, okay, let's have a look at the second task. Alright, the instruction is, your hobbies and experience show a lot about you. For example, if you help arrange a school excursion, then you are probably good at organizing. So which of the skills below will you probably have if you have done the following? Okay, excursions are school excursions, or excursions are activities organized by the school where the students are taken out of the school's ground. For example, a camp, or day excursion or school sports, undertake adventure activities regardless of whether or not they occur outside the school ground. Okay, it can be said like Aktiviti luar sekolah yang pernah awak terlibat secara langsung as a participant or sebagai AJK. Okay, so you need to match the hobbies and experiences on your left hand side with the skills that you require. Alright, in most cases more than one answer is possible. Ada juga jawapan. Okay, you can choose more than one from the skills on the right hand side. Okay, for example, okay, alright, let's have a look first at the sentences. The first one, I was on the school committee for 2 years. Okay, so the first one is your school committee for 2 years. Next one, I work in a bookshop during the holidays. Okay, you work in a bookshop. Number 3, I help my parents on their large farm. So it means that you may have experience doing things in the large farm. Next one, I did babysitting at the weekend. Alright, this one, babysitting, pengasuh or mengasuh anak-anak or baby or during weekend. Next one, captain of the sports team. Next one, work in a cafe. Alright. So from these jobs that you have done, what are the skills that you can acquire from that particular jobs? For example, let me share with you, maybe for the first one, if you were one of the school committee for 2 years, alright, it means that you are good at working with people because you are dealing with students, teachers most of the time as a school committee. And also, alright, maybe you are a good organizer. Alright, perhaps you have organized any school excursion before, so you know what to do next to plan a school visit and so on. Alright, you can choose more than one actually. It depends on the job that you have done. Alright, the next sentences, you can do it on your own, and of course you have to show it to your teachers later. Alright, now here comes the third activity. Alright, the instruction is read this writing task and discuss in class what experience and hobbies you could include to match the skills asked for. You have seen this advertisement for a summer job. Okay, summer shop assistance needed for our new arts and craft shop. So you need to be good at working with people, have some knowledge of arts and craft, and be able to work during the busy tourist season in July and August. So write saying why you would be suitable for the job to Robert Brown, the manager of the Art of Craft, High Street, Oxford. So write your formal letter between 200 to 250 words. Okay, if you notice, I actually modify the number of words to suit your words for your SPM question part 3. Okay, so you want to work as a shop assistant. So where is the place? The place is new arts and craft shops. So to whom you should write the letter? Okay, this is the person that you should address, Robert Brown, And don't forget to include the reason why you would be suitable for the job. Why this Robert Brown should hire you as a shop assistant there. Okay. All right. Next is, all right. Okay, before you do any formal letter, I would love to bring your attention to all the words given in the language bank there. Okay, firstly, we have, all right, formal letters, dear sir or madam plus yours faithfully. Dear Mr., Mrs. or Miss Smith plus yours sincerely. I look forward to your reply. I look forward to hearing from you. Experience, which is pengalaman, recently, baru-baru ini, currently, alright, semasa, during last year, tahun lepas, for the last 2 years, 2 tahun lepas, 2 tahun kebelakangan ini, or at the weekend, waktu hujung minggu. Alright, working with people where a shop or cafe work, member of a team or club, trainer or organizer, or on a committee. Next is different sports such as water skiing, surfing, rock climbing, hiking, canoeing, sailing, skiing, snowboarding, football, rugby, athletics, and gymnastics. Okay. So you just go through the language bank first, especially for the section on experience, working with people and different sports. Okay, later maybe you can try to make sentences using the words and phrases to show your understanding about those phrases or words. Alright, the standard convention of formal letter writing, alright, you have to pay particular attention to punctuation. Example, for the greeting parts later, the greetings are always followed by a comma. Don't forget, okay, after you put the words there, dear sir, madam, then you have to put comma. Okay, next one, and if you are writing to a firm or an institution and there is no name, you may use the greeting dear sir or madam only. Okay, kalau tak ada nama, tak tahu nama dia, you can include or you can simply write dear sir or madam only. Alright, and then the closing always takes a comma too. Okay, yours sincerely, comma, or yours faithfully, comma. Okay, you should remember that only the first word of the closing is capitalized. Okay, meaning perkataan yours, Y sahaja huruf besar. So the next in small letter. Yours faithfully, only the first letter is in capital letter. Alright. Next one, close with your sincerely, and when writing to a name person, but yours faithfully when using the dear. Alright, that's it. So this is the thing you must remember. You have to put comma if you after dear sir or madam. Next one, after the closing, the ending Y should be in capital letter, only Y. The rest is back to normal. Then you don't forget to put comma. Alright, here is some additional info for you. Okay, as you can see from the screen, okay, yours sincerely versus yours faithfully. What's the difference? Okay, the information written there, yours sincerely is used when writing to someone whom you have met before, or whom you have known or spoken to over the phone, or was introduced by some other person. Okay, yours faithfully is used when writing to someone whom you do not know or have not met. So you can refer to your right hand side since you are following the British English, right? So you just focus here, right? Alright, dear sir, to an unknown person, orang yang tidak dikenali, is either dear sir or madam. And then you write down yours faithfully. Again, yours faithfully. Y sahaja huruf besar. To a known person, alright, by right, you should mention his or her name. Dear example here, dear Mr. Jones, comma, and then it's slightly different. Okay, instead of using faithfully, you can use the word sincerely. Alright, but still maintain how to write Y is in capital letter, huruf besar. Okay, alright. This is actually the exemplar for activity number 3, how you are going to write. Here we go. This is the exemplar for answering question 3 just now. So read the instruction of activity 4. Read this letter applying for the job in 3. Okay, in 3 means referring to activity 3 just now, and using the writing task and the language bank on the next page, which I have introduced to you earlier on. Fill in the gaps at the beginning and end of the letter with the correct information. Then discuss the questions at the top of the next page in class. So you must firstly fill in the gaps at the beginning and the end of the letter, and then after that answer the following questions in the next slide later. So let's read the letter. Dear blah 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 blah. I am writing to apply for the position of summer shop assistant, which I saw advertised recently on the internet. I am a 16-year-old student at Melway High School, specializing in languages for my final exams. I have certificates at intermediate level in English and German, and I have also been learning Italian for the last year. At the weekend, I currently work as a cashier at a local supermarket. In my spare time, I organize a local club where we design and build our own model aeroplanes, which we fly in competitions. Painting is another of my hobbies, and 2 of my pictures were chosen for an art exhibition in London last year. I would enjoy working full-time in your shop during the school holidays because I am very interested in arts and craft. My experience of shop work and my knowledge of languages would, I believe, be useful, especially with summer visitors from abroad. I am looking forward to yours, Jack Green. So if you refer to the language bank, most probably you can write down, Dear Mr. Brown, as it mentioned it earlier in the question for activity 3. I am looking forward to your reply maybe. And then since you know already you have the name of Mr. Brown, so yours sincerely, Jack and Green. So you have to answer question number 1 until number 6 there. Okay, we will go through one by one. The first question. How does Jack show that he would be good with people? Okay, macam mana Jack portray dalam surat tu yang dia boleh, what we call that, seorang yang senang or sangat bagus bekerjasama, especially involving other people. From the letter, alright, we can say that, we can say that he portrays by saying that he works in a supermarket and perhaps organize a local club. Okay, next one. Why would he be good at working with money in the shop? Kenapa dia rasa dia sangat bagus bila kerja melibatkan duit? Because of, alright, he works as a cashier. He mentioned that. Alright, number 3. The summer season is busy. Would he be good at working under pressure? And why? Okay, the answer is yes or no. What do you think? Yes, correct. The answer is yes. Because why? Because usually cashiers are often under pressure. And then some more, taking parts in the competitions is something that's very stressful. Okay, all right, next one. How do you know he would be able to work in July and August? From which sentence that you know that he would be able to work in July? So he would be able to work in July and August. Okay, because Jack mentioned that I would enjoy working full time during the school holidays. Okay, next one. Would you give him the job? And what? Okay, this is very subjective. Ask yourself. Then the reason as well. Would you give him the job? And why? If you ask me, okay, I would probably say that yes, he has relevant shop experience. Dia ada pengalaman bekerja dekat supermarket. And then yes, maybe he is good at working with people, because working as a cashier, dia berdepan dengan ramai orang. And then he may have a sense of responsibility because dia ada sifat tanggungjawab tu. Okay, mungkin sebab dia dah pernah buat what we call dia pernah organize a club, organize a local club. Means that he used to manage a local club. And last but not least, of course, he is interested in arts and craft. Okay, next question. Please go thoroughly. Does he start every sentence with I? Adakah setiap ayat permulaan dia tu dimulakan dengan perkataan I? So you go through one by one. Okay. Paragraph 1, no. Paragraph 2, no. Alright, as you notice here. Okay, yes, this one start with I. Okay, next sentence, he also start with I. Next, start with I. However, next sentence, he start with this one. So not all sentences from this letter he started with I. Okay. Alright, next is, okay, the writer avoids starting every sentence with I by beginning sentences with phrases that tell us when he does something or what he does. Avoid mean penulis tadi cuba elakkan pada setiap ayat untuk dimulakan dengan I. He tried to avoid. Okay, how he tried to avoid? By starting with phrases. Okay. Underline 3 examples in the letter in 4. Then rewrite the following information in a similar way in your notebook. So the first thing is you have to identify 3 examples or 3 sentences from the previous letter that the writer did not start the sentence with I. Can you spot that? Okay. You may refer to the previous example of model answer. Okay, you can identify all of these things. At the weekend, just now the one that I have circled earlier, in my spare time, and then other sentence is painting is another of my hobbies. So this is the other way around, that he did not start with I. Dia masukkan phrases first, not all the sentences start with I. So now your next task is you have to rewrite the following information in a similar way. So we have here 1 and 2. Okay. All these sentences started with I. So how you want to add your own phrases, just like the writer did in his letter. Can you share with me? Okay, some of you is on the right track. Okay, maybe you can add on a bit. During school holidays, I enjoy camping with my club. Instead of start with I enjoy, you add on something before it. Next one is, okay, diving is also one of my hobbies and I have won 2 bronze medals. Alright, you add on or you make it diving gerund in front of the sentence. And next one, okay, during the winter, I often go skiing with my parents. Or maybe you can use the same thing. In my spare time, I often go skiing with my parents. Skiing. All right. Next one is, all right, here come your tasks. Okay, we go to the download box first. Okay, look at what the employer wants. Employers tu means that majikan, orang yang mencari, orang yang mengiklankan pekerjaan tu apa yang dia nak. What are the criteria that the employer wants? Look at what the employer wants and think of some relevant experience that you could write. Some relevant experience that you could write. However, walau bagaimanapun, be realistic. Be real. Jangan exaggerate too much. Example, you say that, I have climbed Mount Everest. So what? Employer tu kisah ke? No, right? So just be realistic. Okay, try not to start every sentence with I. Again, try not to start every sentence. Boleh mula, tapi not all sentences you start with I. Learn the ways to begin and end a formal letter. Alright, this one you can always refer to the example before. So the question is, read this writing task and use the plan and the language bank earlier to help you write your letter applying for the job. When you have finished, check you have answered all 3 points in the task, that you have started and ended, and that you have started and ended your formal letter correctly. Okay. Mula-mula kena jawab all the 3 points mentioned. You have to elaborate on the 3 points mentioned in the question. Then later, you have to make sure that you have started and ended your formal letter in the correct way. Okay. Alright. So the question is, you have seen this advertisement. Awak tengok iklan tentang pekerjaan ni. Where? Maybe later you can add on dekat mana awak tengok. Which newspaper? You can always mention that also. Alright. Now, it's all about winter holiday. Okay, winter holiday shop assistant needed for 2 weeks at our large sport shops. You need to, first, be good at working with people. Number 2, have some knowledge of a variety of sports. Number 3, be able to work over the new year period. So write saying why you would be suitable for the job to Mary Swan, manager, Sports World, High Street, Cambridge. Alright. And then write your letter. Okay, this one. Still I need to amend this one. Try to write, okay, make it 200. Okay. This one part of your practice for your SPM as well. So the question is, the job is of course as a shop assistant. The position, where? At the sports shop. So to whom you should write the letter? To Mary Swan. Is it madam or sir? Okay. Alright. So how long that you need to work there? It's only okay, this is only for 2 weeks mentioned here. 2 minggu je. Alright, because it's winter season. So you have to plan, okay, plan your formal letter, paragraph 1. State your reason for writing and where you saw the advertisement. Number 2, paragraph 2, your age, details of study, relevant qualification and or work experience. Paragraph 3, relevant interest and achievement. Interest is minat, achievement is pencapaian. Paragraph 4, say why you are suitable for the jobs that you are able to work over New Year. Okay, why? Kenapa awak sangat bersesuaian untuk bekerja sebagai shop assistant dekat kedai sukan ini. Okay, alright. Write short notes for each paragraph before you start writing. Write a draft of the formal letter. Okay, please paying particular attention to punctuation. Okay, you might feel tempted to exaggerate the importance of your past position. What else? You must remember to begin and end your letter appropriately and to provide information that is relevant to the job, which will show them in a favorable light as job candidates. So this is your task for you to do. Try to write a formal letter. You can always refer back to the exemplar shared before, but you have to make it, the length is quite slightly longer than before. Okay, slightly longer than the exemplar shared earlier. Okay, so this is the task. You can do it and share it with your English teacher for them to check for you and give mark as well. Here come our last part, which is the reflection. Okay, the review part. I would love you to ask yourself sincerely, honestly, what were you able to do well in the activity? And what did you find particularly challenging about the activities? Okay, maksudnya tanya diri awak bahagian mana yang rasa awak mampu buat dalam letter tersebut and bahagian mana yang awak rasa sangat susah untuk buat. You may share your review or your reflection with your teachers so that your teachers can help you to overcome any obstacles that you have when you want to write this formal letter. Okay, if everything is fine, it shows that you are on the right track to write a good formal letter. Alright, thumb up to you. Okay, so that's it. Okay, thank you for watching. That's the end of the Unit 8 a hard day's work. Okay, I covered all the 4 skills. Hopefully to see you around with the new topic. We have about 4 topics more to cover. Unit 9, Unit 10, probably I'm able to prepare something for you. So students, stay safe and take care. See you soon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.